Hello, hello, all. Thank you for joining us again on the Almost Brothers podcast. Hey, will you do us a favor? If this podcast has meant something to you and encouraged you, will you consider becoming a monthly supporter? You could do $3, $5, $8, or $10 a month. What this does is this helps financially support the podcast so that we can continue to put out content and help better serve you. So if you would, down in the show notes, you can click the link, support, and become a monthly member. We love you. New episode coming your way. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Almost Brothers podcast. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about not being weary in well-doing. Happens to all of us. Coming up. Just makes me so happy.
Yeah.
It's like music you'd hear at like a surf shop. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, how you doing?
Man, I'm well.
I almost thought that was a Magnolia Farms shirt for a second. You know, Magnolia was, what are they, Chip and Joanna? Chip and Joanna Gaines? That's what I thought it was for a hot second.
Magellan.
Yeah. How's life? How's school?
It's good. School is rough.
You only had what, like 2 week break?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was about a month.
Oh, okay.
It was about a month.
Well, that's not too bad then.
But the summer session is like 16 weeks crammed into 8. So
yeah,
it's good though.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, just started. Rocking and rolling.
I missed an assignment the other day.
Would you just space it?
Just totally spaced on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
and so I'm like, it was in the first week, and I'm like, I love starting the first week with a 0, on an assignment.
And like you remember like 30 minutes after it's due.
Well, it was the next day. I was like looking at the next, the stuff for the next week, and I'm like, oh, I did not do that. I don't remember doing that. And, yeah, I did because I didn't do it. But it's all good.
That's why I don't remember because I just didn't do it.
It doesn't look familiar,
man. Yep.
But yeah, other than that, everything's good.
Yeah, man. I know that keeps you busy.
How you been?
It's hard to good. Just busy, tired, man. My back's been out.
Stayed up all night.
That too. Oh my gosh, them boys are nuts.
I mean, did you have a house full? Or?
Yeah, we had. Let's see, Jacob, Dylan, Ben, Tristan, Easton. Lee was up with us. Bubby, my nephew Journey, my niece, and Sissy.
Wow.
10 kids.
God bless you. God bless you.
It was fun though, man. Yeah. It was really fun. Stayed up, played some Mario Kart, watched a movie, sat in the dark for like 2 hours and talked. So it was cool. It was really fun.
That sounds fun.
It was a good time.
Good.
Yeah, I enjoy having them over, man. It makes me feel young again, Yeah. Especially when they're going to bed before I am. But yeah, it was good. Yeah, on today's episode, man, just talking about getting weary and well-doing, man. It sometimes it just gets to us. I think me and you both kind of puttered out this week and just felt man.
Yeah, it can get to be a lot,
man.
Because you're doing a good thing. You're doing what God called you to do, and man, you're just trying to get it all in, and just sometimes just wear out.
Oh yeah.
But I just think for me, what I had to do is just kind of back up, take a look at everything that I was involved in, and then kind of reevaluate what was priority, not try to do it all, just try to figure out where I could create some slack and a little bit of family time and just there is no such thing as free time anymore, but just still got to make time for the family. And so just some of those things got to go and, maybe not permanently, but just kind of step away for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all good. I mean, I enjoy working in ministry. I love it. It's my heartbeat, but it can wear you down a little bit. And I know that anybody that's worked in ministry knows that a lot of times it's a lot of work and not a lot of attaboys or appreciation at times, and you feel like you're doing things that nobody notices, but God's noticing.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps me motivated.
Yeah, that's good. And a lot of times your priorities get mixed up and things get blurred, because you are trying to to do everything you can, especially in the ministry, and you kind of neglect certain things that shouldn't be neglected, you know, your family, your marriage, your kids, you know, things like that. So I think it's so easy to get those things mixed up, you know, and kind of backwards. I don't know if I've heard people talk about, well, if you're doing it for the Lord and you're called to do it, then it won't be no problem. But statistics would disagree with that.
Right.
It says that 50% of pastors in the ministry have considered leaving the ministry in the past month. 1 month, 50%,
Wow.
half.
Yeah.
1 out of every 10 ministers will actually retire as a minister in some form. 94% of clergy families feel the pressure of the pastor's ministry. So that right there shows you, man, it's tough. Whether you're doing it for the right reasons, your heart's in the right spot, it's going to be tough. It's going to be, you know, you're going to have good days and bad days. And I know for me, it was always kind of putting my family on the back burner. That was my biggest mistake. You know, being in the ministry is kind of so focused and so dead set on ministry that I forget the ministry I have sitting at home, you know, the first ministry.
Yeah.
You know, so I've struggled in that, you know, and still do to this day, just kind of trying to juggle everything, but being too tired to hang out with my kids or, you know, things like that when I get home. And it's like, man, that's my first ministry. That needs to be my top priority.
Right.
You know, it's God, family, then ministry. You know, that's how it should be. But it's so easy to get that backwards, man. It really is.
Yes.
And it's not like a bad thing. It's not, you know, it's not not a tough thing. But I think that kind of starts stretching people thin, especially in your marriage. If you're married and one of you, you know, is really doing ministry part of it, and one of them is working, or you're stretched two different ways. You know, especially if you got kids. You know, one is trying to help wrangle the kids, and then one's doing ministry. You know, so it gets hard, man. It's a hard battle of push and pull. And how do y'all handle that? I know y'all only got Max, the young kid. You know, Ben's old enough to kind of take care of himself. But is that one of the things that kind of pull you both ways?
Yeah. Man, I don't know. It's just juggling the family life and ministry when you're doing stuff every night. It's kind of tough because we just got done with T-ball, and you know, we had soccer in the spring or earlier in the spring. But man, there's just always something going on with the kids.
Yeah,
and so you know, we always try to make that a priority. We don't like go to Wednesday night games, or we're not going to go to Sunday afternoon. You know, or we can go to Sunday afternoon practices, but we're not going to go to, if it interferes with church, we don't do it. Yeah. And we just made that real clear. Now as he gets older, I can't say that it would always be like that, you know, because as they get, you know, as they grow up, they're going to get into a little more serious in sports. You know what I mean? It means more to him and stuff. And I don't know if Max is going to be an athlete or not, but you know, I remember like when I was growing up, that was kind of a big deal. Sometimes you'd have to travel on the weekends to play in ball tournaments or whatever. And, you know, so there's obviously some of that, but, where it's at now, you know, we try to keep, you know, church and our involvement in church first and then everything else. But man, we're struggling to figure out how to, you know, just have fun. You know, because sometimes you just get so busy that you don't realize that, you know, your kids are growing up and they're going to, like with Ben, he's going to be out of the house soon. And it's like, we don't have the time sometimes to go do things with him that he might want to do, and family vacations and things like that. We don't get to do that kind of thing. And we're at a place now where we're trying to do both, you know. We don't want to look back and regret, you know, not spending time with our kids when, you know, like, well, look at all the good things we did with church, but we didn't do nothing with our kids. And,
And Missy's talked about that, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she's been there before too. You know, she already knows that she's built like that, to where she's going to pour it all into ministry. And then sometimes the kids don't receive the attention that they need, but there's a fine line there, and we're learning how to do that. You know, as we're getting older now.
Oh yeah, you're getting older.
You're getting older too, man.
Yeah, it's hard, that balance, man. And like you said, with you know, Ben's gonna be out of the house soon, and that's how it was with Lee when we went to her college thing. You know, I've talked about this, where it, like, time's ticking, man. Yeah. You know, so I'm now trying my best to spend every moment I can. You know, sometimes she gets in those moods where she just wants to go to her room and not talk to anybody and, you know, watch TV or play Xbox. But I'm doing everything I can now to try to spend as much time with her, because then this time next year, she's going to be leaving. You know, that's not something I look forward to at all.
No.
So I'm trying to find that good balance, that good ministry, life, fatherhood,
Right.
balance, you know.
You know, we've talked about it on this show before, where it seems like you only have a handful of people that are willing to help.
Yeah.
And so then those people get asked to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, we need someone to fill in here and do this. And it's like, well, go to so-and-so.
Yeah.
But so-and-so does everything.
Yeah.
You know, and it's okay, you know, it's good, you know, but you got to remember those people can wear out.
Yeah.
And what was one thing, I'll just talk about myself and what I'm going through right now, but like working with like on Wednesday nights, you know, I kind of help with the live feed and the media and stuff. I don't really have to do anything, but I always make sure the cameras are, you know, on like they're supposed to be, or I'll run one sometimes. But being involved in that, I don't really get to sit and listen to the message.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's just been things like that where you get involved and you want to help, but you also want to just sit down and enjoy praise and worship.
Yeah.
You know, I know my wife, there's, you know, right now she just got a girl trained to where she can kind of release some of that. But, you know, for a couple of months there, you know, she was tied to that computer, making sure that the words were on the screen and all the slides were, you know, the way Pastor wanted them. And so she wasn't getting to participate in praise and worship. And for her, me and her both, same. I mean, we love that time, you know, like I absolutely love coming in and, you know, the singing and the worship time. Like, I mean, I need that rejuvenates me, you know, and my wife too, same thing. And so it's just, it's like, you're doing a good thing, but you're just kind of wore out.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, man, I just need some time to worship Jesus and sit at his feet, but I've got so much going on.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about this with Pastor the other day, and he said, well, you just need to start getting up earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I didn't want to hear that, you know, because I mean, it seems like we're running nonstop from the time we get up till 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And so getting up early, man, that doesn't sound like any fun at all, but he's right. You know, the few times, you know, like if I wake up, you know, like 5 o'clock, I'm just like, you know what? I feel like God's waking me up. I'm just going to go in here and spend a little time in the Word. Yeah. And my goodness, my days are so much better. I get more accomplished. I'm more focused. Like, things don't seem to unravel quite as easily as they do when I don't. And so, man, I guess that's just where I'm at with this whole. I feel like I'm getting weary, but whenever I spend time with the Lord and ask Him to strengthen me and to give me a clear head and focus and all that stuff, He does it. So I just have to remember to do that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I know for me, where the weary part comes in is, of course, we all get tired and physically wore out. But like for me is when like somebody does ask you to do something and it's to the point of you just can't. Like, I don't have time. I don't have energy. I don't have the resources. Like, I just can't do it. And then they look at you like you just slapped them in the face. And it's like, I'm sorry. Like, I've also got a life outside of ministry that, you know, I'm trying to deal with. I'm trying to, you know, I've got my own struggles. I've got my own family dynamic going on. So it's like, we're not superhuman people that just have all day to just do and do and do and do and do and do. You know, it's sometimes we've got to feed the people that are around us every day that we go home to. You know, we have to give them our time and we have to give them our energy and give them our attention. Because even sometimes when I'm at home and my phone's, I mean, just constantly going off. So I'm at home, but I'm not at home. And that's no good for my relationship with my wife or my kids either. Right. You know, as I caught myself the other night as Lee came home from work. It was probably 9 o'clock at night, and she was talking to me, and my phone's going crazy. So I'm trying to listen to her, but then answer. And I had to like make myself put my phone away out of my view, turn it on silent, and not pay attention to it. That way I can focus on her. I can listen to her. I could, you know, she was just telling me about her day and how work went and how things are going. And I want to be present in that moment, man, because time is running out. You know, she's going to be gone, and all our kids are growing up, and they're becoming more distant from us because they're teenagers, you know, and things like that. So I try to be more present in those moments. Even today, you know, we both went and had lunch with our wives, and just sitting there and turning the phone off and putting it face down and getting it out of the way, man. I love that time to where we could just sit there.
My wife will actually sit down on the side of the table where she's looking at the TV. so I can't have that seat.
That's funny. Yeah.
We go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like she's in front of me, scoping out the booth we're gonna get, and sliding on that side that's facing the TV.
Do you find yourself looking at it, even if it's something you're not even interested in? It's just like, yeah.
Yes, all the time.
That's so fun. That's how I was today. Like I what was it? It was a tennis match. I like tennis, but I'm not gonna sit here and I just keep. I'm like, why am I even looking at it? I don't care.
I think it's just that square up there with pretty colors on it. It's like, oh,
well, that was in. Oh, okay. I don't care. I don't know.
They know who they are.
Yeah. Yeah, and me and Jamie's trying to do that too now. Is once maybe every 2 weeks, something like that. Is just get a night where it's just me and her. We shut everything out, and it's just me and her. Do it whether we go out to eat or whether we go like we just went and walked around Walmart or just drive around, like grocery shopping. Like that's our like alone time, and I love getting to spend that time with her.
Yeah, we do the lunches together to where I'll pick her up and we'll just drive around. Yeah, we just drive around town. We're trying to buy a house, and so we'll find some that are on the market or whatever, and we'll just drive by them, look at them. Yeah. But we just kind of hang out. Yeah, normally like time to go back to work rolls around and we didn't eat. Yeah. We're just like, wow, because we got something to eat. Yeah. But no, we really, that's one of the times that we just get each other's undivided attention and get to spend some time together. So that's important.
Oh yeah. It just helps strengthen that relationship, man. Because it goes from, oh, you're in the ministry and I support you, to resentment. Like you're choosing that over me. And it's not just you're choosing it over me, but you're doing it every day. Yeah. It's like, I want some attention. I want some time. It's that's where me and Jamie ran into that real hard one year. And then it opened my eyes and everything changed kind of from that moment, which I still struggle with it. But
I sometimes have a problem saying yes to other people and then it's no to my wife.
Yeah.
And she'll sometimes ask me like, hey, if somebody else would have asked you to do this, you'd have jumped on it. You'd have been running.
Yeah, that's good.
And so that's something I've been having to work on too is, my wife ought to be first, that ought to be my first priority. And when she asks me to do something, I ought to, do it and do it joyfully, not begrudgingly and with a bad attitude or whatever. And not saying I do that all the time, but sometimes, yes, and it's only because I'm wore out from jumping when everybody else says to, and so it's like, it's not her fault that I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. But like you just said a minute ago, learning to say no is crucial. Yeah. If you're involved in ministry or if you're in, anything, if you've got that people pleaser mindset or characteristic, you cannot get wrapped up in saying yes to everything. Yeah. It's okay to say no. Yeah. I used to feel horrible back. So I'm like, well, if I say no, they're not going to ask me to do it the next time. Yeah. Or, I don't want to offend anybody or I don't, they need me. Well, they don't need me. They know I'll say yes. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. And so it's been difficult, but like, I'm really working on just trying, like we said at the beginning, just prioritize. Yeah. If it's something that I don't need to be doing, or if I don't have the time for it, then I just have to say no to it. And people understand, if they're offended by it, then what was going on here in the first place?
Exactly. That's very true. Yeah. It's like, do you really care about me, or you just need somebody to do it?
You'll just run me to death. I mean, what are we doing here?
That's good. Yeah.
So I think learning how to say no and doing it in the right way. 90% of the stuff you do, it's not what you do, it's how you do it, or it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Yeah. So, that's just kind of where I'm at, I want to do things and I'm here to help. And I want to see people's lives changed. And I want to see, broken people, their lives put back together. I want to see addicts, restored. I want to see them, lives turned around, and I want to see God moving in their life in amazing ways. And I want to do everything I can to be a part of that. But I want to keep my family first, and I want to be what I'm supposed to be at home in that ministry.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you're seeing all these broken people, come and be made whole, but your family's breaking apart. Right. It's like, what are you doing? It's kind of that the chicken before the egg thing, it's like, man, you've got to take care of the first thing first, and then it extends from there. Right. So, man, it's definitely interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Well, what is it? Interesting Balance. That's
Yes.
the word. Balance.
I like your thing with balance. That's good.
Balance, some perspective. Yeah, because what you say a while ago, with the like, oh, you do it for them, but you want, oh my goodness, dude. And I'm what can you say to that? Because it's like,
No,
you're
yeah,
right.
there's nothing you can say to that.
Man.
I normally just change the subject.
Yeah.
That's how I handle
So
it.
this weather,
Yeah. What are we eating?
Because I've had that exact conversation. Well, you do all this with the youth, and then you're too tired to help me with this or help me with that. And it's like, it's so true, man. It's like I spend all my energy trying to do one thing, and then no energy doing that. Helping her out. And man, James has been a trooper with a lot of it, and she'll overlook it, and but man, that's so good.
But our wives eventually can wear down too.
Yeah.
Finally, they're just like, okay, hold up.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad.
We'll need you to sign this check.
Big colorful check. Yeah. So I've been there, and still to this day, man, it's still a struggle, and it, I told you this week with my back kind of being down for the past week and a half. It's like, I feel worthless, man. I really do. It's like, you shouldn't feel that way if you're having a rough time or a rough week. It's like, you shouldn't feel bad for having to take a breather, for having to take a minute and like,
right.
Because if you're afraid, like you said, if you're afraid of upsetting those people because you need a break, do they really care about you? Like, what are they trying? Are they just trying to run you crazy?
Yeah.
So that's good, man. No, be able to say no.
Be able to say no.
Just like, no, I don't have the time, or I just can't squeeze that in, man, because we gotta put priorities in the right way.
Well, and we got to just remember that if we're exhausted and we're weary, we're no good for anybody.
Yeah.
And God's going to equip us to do the things that He's called us to do.
Yeah.
Not extra.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's good.
we have to really be in tune with what He has for us, not what we think is right. Because you can do the right thing and it not be a God thing, and wasting your time.
Yeah.
Essentially. So I think being in tune with what God's will is and what God's plan is and where He says to move, that would keep me from being weary.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not wasting my energy doing things that Jeremiah wants to do.
Yeah, that's good.
Or, for my own agenda or for whatever, or just because I think it's right. Sometimes we don't understand what is the best, like God will see things in a way that we can't. You know what I mean? He knows it from all angles. And so where we can feel like we're doing the right thing or helping somebody out or doing what we feel is best for someone may absolutely be the worst thing we could be doing for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that's good. Yeah.
That's why we have to trust God, and we have to be listening to what He says to do to keep from getting involved in things that aren't our fight.
Yeah, that's good. That's what I had a message that goes with it. It was, God said, I've prepared for you a table amongst your enemies. Mm-hmm. And then we get mad because of what's on our plate, what we put on our plate. And God said, I didn't tell you to order that off the menu. That's like good. You put these things on your plate. I never told you to put on your plate. That's good. And you're getting full and you're getting sick because you're eating some. I never told you to order that. It's like, ooh, okay.
That's
man,
good.
That's
really good.
Oh man. And it just happens so easy because you want, this needs help. Oh, let me help you with that. I can help you with that. Oh, that can help you with that. And then next thing you know, you're like, oh no, I don't have time to breathe.
Right.
Yeah. And it's a hard place to be too, because it makes you just want to stop all of it. It makes you just like, no, I'm just done. Mm-hmm. You never want to let it get to that point. So take a break, take a breather, take time if you need it, man. It's important. And what is it? Self-care, man. If you're, you're tired and wore out, go take a nap. What happened to naps? Like nobody can nap anymore. Like, come on. Richard would be like, nap, boy.
Does he nap?
Oh my goodness. Like, and can just at the drop of a hat. It's like, oh yeah, I ate and sat down and watched TV and just fell asleep. Like, I cannot do
my
that.
dad was that way. I can remember they had an hour lunch break.
Yeah.
When growing up, and he just worked a couple blocks down the road, and so he would come home and like shovel something in, to eat really quick, and then he'd be snoring on the couch, and then right back up and back down to work.
Way.
I'm like, what was that? Like a half hour little power nap, It's like,
I'd be dead.
I used to, I don't know. I don't nap.
We had one guy that tried that. We had 30 minutes. And we had one guy that just went out to his car and like leaned his seat back and like slept for 4 hours.
That would be me. Because if I get to the point where I'm going to go to sleep, I'm going to sleep for a while.
Like, wait, did he get sick and go home? And they went out and checked. He passed out in his car. He like woke up, it's dark outside. Like what? I'm like, oh my gosh. That would be me. I don't even want to flirt with that.
No.
It'd be smooth out. Or I'll be on the edge of falling asleep and it's time, and I'm just gripey the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather just stay up, which I try to squeeze in a nap every now and then, but usually the kids are jumping on me or Mom and Richard. What I call them? What was the cartoons like? Oh crap! I'll think of it and talk about it in the next episode. But one of them two are going to call me if I lay my head down to take a nap. It's like clockwork. Here they come to the rescue. These two. One of them's calling me.
They know.
Oh my goodness. Rich is always like, well, turn your phone off. I'm like, well, I don't want to turn my phone off, but yeah, it's funny. But yeah,
I just had to block their.
Yeah, that's just blocked just for that time. Just for that. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. You got anything else on your heart?
I don't believe so.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. And it was timely. That was a timely. Yeah. Thank you, Missy.
Yes, my wife did come up with that. She had some good ones.
Yeah.
I think another one was husbands love your wives.
Yeah, I was trying to say something on that one.
She threw that one in there at the end, and a little smiley face and a heart face and all that. But yeah, she ain't lying.
Yes, queen. Yes, queen.
Yeah, she ain't lying though. Yeah, we do talk about women honoring their husbands and all that, but we sometimes overlook that we're supposed to love them like Christ loved the church.
Ooh, come on. And
lay down our life for him, you know. Mm-hmm. No, man, I got a great wife, man. She's the best.
She let you drive her car today.
She did let me drive her car today, and she absolutely. I mean, you talk about somebody who puts themselves last.
Yeah,
that's her, and she gets wore down. She gets she takes on a lot, and I mean a lot more than I'd ever want to try.
Yeah. And y'all just had your anniversary, right?
We did. We just had our anniversary, and so good. we're gonna try to. Yeah, it was the cotton year, I guess. So I got a T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, nice. Got her some underwear. No, I'm kidding. But no, I think we're gonna try to take a little vacation in the next week or so. I don't know where we're gonna go, but just a couple of days to get away.
Yeah, just y'all
unwind. Yeah.
Man, that does. It's amazing.
It doesn't have to be a long time, you know. Just a couple of days.
It is so amazing for what that does for you. Just like I love you, like for real. It's like just sitting there and talking, and that's what I think we plan on Saturday. We're gonna go somewhere, just me and her, just kind of for the day. Like we'll come back home that evening, but it just rejuvenates. It's just like like I just really like reconnects that you to your partner. It's just like it's so nice. So like today I was just sitting there, I was just like just looking at her.
Oh gosh. Like that? You were looking at her like that?
So I need to get back. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Just drooling on you, drooling all over you over here. Just like,
oh man.
It's always so like her eyes are just like, I'm lost. What? I don't know what you're saying. I'm just staring into your eyes.
Oh my goodness. And she's probably like, shut up, Michael.
Yeah. Like, whatever. I wish you'd stare into that trash can and get that trash out. Like,
that's funny. Man, that's good. All right. Well, man, this has been fun. I want to thank you guys for joining us. This has been Almost Brothers Podcast with Michael and Jeremiah. Remember, if you don't have a home church, come check us out here at the Lighthouse in Dexter. 8:30 outside in the parking lot, 10 o'clock inside. We love y'all.